everybody to Survive and Advance on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Survive and Advance is brought to you, presented by BetNow.eu. If you want to bet on the football games this season, or if you want to bet a little baseball right now, go to BetNow.eu and get a 50% cashback bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000 by using the promo code TRUTH50. To get that, I think you have to put in at least $45 or $50. So if you put in 50, you'll have 75. If you put in 1,000, you'll have 1,500. That's all we're sponsored by right now. But if you guys want to sponsor us, you can. Steve needs a sponsor, not like a sponsor, but for the show. Help me welcome to the show, 1981 national champion, member of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, and Isaiah Thomas's caddy. Help me welcome to the show, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Mike, I'm doing good. It's already over 100 degrees out here in Los Angeles today. We are steaming it up.
Well, yeah, because California is basically hell. So what do you expect when you went there, Steve? It's going to be on fire.
You know what? I got to agree with you. I'm not a natural Californian. I'm a Hoosier.
No, you're not.
I moved out here because my son got into the movie business. And my wife didn't want to be too far away from my son. So I said, okay, fine. Let's sell our big house in Indianapolis and move out here. And we did. And, oh, my God, it takes an hour and a half to go 20 miles on the 405. I mean, at peak times of the day. It's crazy. My son gets up at 5:30 every morning and takes off and heads to work so he can be at work by 7:30. It's ridiculous, as anybody would say. But have you bet my money yet?
No, I mean, it's not football season
bet now.
Yet.
Okay, so we're going to hold it to football season.
Yeah, we don't want to bet on baseball. That's boring. I'm not going to watch that unless I have a bet on it.
Well, no, Bobby may be listening. Now, wait a minute. Bobby Sheridan, our the Sheridan
Baseball's
report.
exciting if you bet on it, Steve, but the thing is this. I'm not Bobby. If I'm betting your money, you're much better to wait on football. But if you still get the Sheridan report, you can bet on Bobby's stuff.
I get the Sheridan report every day.
Well, you're not a retard. Excuse the French.
Well, no, but lately, come on, he's been apologizing a lot lately for bad picks.
No, that's like once a week. The other 6 days, he tears it up. So don't worry about it.
Tears it up, yeah,
Just
I know.
Go with Bobby.
I know.
I mean, remember,
to
make money, you got to hit like 60% of the time. 70% of the
don't
time,
gamble.
You're a genius. All right, so I just got done watching Hard Knocks with the Oakland Raiders. And when I watched that show, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe you can chime in. But is John Gruden not one of the bigger asses you've ever seen?
I think the thing about John Gruden is what I've taken from the first two episodes of the show, and I've watched them both, he wants to be your friend. He likes to crack jokes, and he'll be a stern coach at some point. He'll throw out some superlatives and some foul language, but then he comes right over and pats you on the back. And, and that's one thing Knight never did for me or for anybody in Indiana. When I played for Knight,
but see, I think this. I think that there are coaches that are like that, and there's coaches that are like Knight. Either side can be successful. I mean, the thing is this, though. You got to know as a coach. Hold on, because I can tell you this.
Okay.
I evolved as a coach. So in the 90s, early 2000s, I was kind of a bigger ass than I am now. But I wasn't really, because the one thing I do realize, and I think Bobby Knight, if he would have used different demeanor, would have won more, because he had the talent to win more. I think this. I think when you are a head coach of anything, or you are in any business, the most important part to being successful is that your players know that you actually care about them outside of the game. Now, when I watch Gruden, I don't really take it that way, because, he doesn't really ask a whole lot about their families, stuff like that. And see, that's something I always went out of my way to ask everybody, whether it was third graders, high schoolers, or professional players, because I really do care, because these guys are out there, and the way I coach, it can be kind of stressful for everybody. I'm demanding a lot of you So I think that if I demand a lot of you, it's all right for you to demand a lot of me. And I don't think that John Gruden really, he cracks jokes and stuff, but I think he may demand a lot of players, but I don't think players can really demand a lot of him. You know, Bill Belichick is a guy that people like to rip on all the time, but you don't hear too many guys that played for Belichick that rip him ever. And the thing about the leadership, real quick, is Tom Brady, Mark Edwards, who played for the Patriots, who's a friend of the show. I've known him for a few years. Played at Notre Dame, was a star there, played for the Patriots, Browns, Niners, but he was on that first Patriots Super Bowl team. And he said the thing about Tom Brady is, by the end of the second day of camp, Tom Brady knows all 83 guys' life situations there and can walk up and talk to them about it, because he'll go pick each guy out and talk to them to find out that. Because as a great leader, the biggest thing you need to know is what makes your players tick. And you can't find that out by just talking X's and O's with them.
Okay, and here's my theory on that is, Knight never came to me and said, how you getting along with your girlfriend? Or how your mom and dad doing? I mean, he never got involved in my personal life. He just cared what I did in between the lines on the court. And we respected him for that. And he came more prepared than any of us ever did. I mean, he was more prepared to coach us than we were prepared to be coached. And that was Bob Knight. Gruden, I just, watching the first two shows, I see him coaching for himself, for his life.
Yes.
More than I see him coaching for.
He's coaching for his own individual ego.
Exactly.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, though. Yeah. So did Knight. But
no, I don't think so.
Hold on. I think it did, because it was very important tonight that he wins. Now, with Gruden, it's very important to him to win, but it's also very important to him for everybody to like him. Where with Knight, it was very important to win.
He didn't care.
He didn't care what anybody else thought about him. He was just going to go out and do this the way he wanted to do it, and to hell with everybody else. Gruden, to me, is a guy that, for his ego's sake, winning validates his ego. With Knight, I don't know that it really validated his ego, because Knight was so far above everybody ego-wise that even if he went 0-30, he still thought he was better than you. But I think John Gruden, with the way he coaches, to me, I think John Gruden's insecure about how good he really is. And I don't think you could ever say that about Knight.
Let me ask you this question. Is there a difference between a persona and an ego? Because I never thought Knight had an ego.
He had to.
I just thought he had a mission.
He had to. You have to be great at anything.
With a persona. He got a persona from the media.
But the thing is this.
I mean,
as a person, I can tell you this. All right? If I'm coaching a team, and my team is 2-3, and then local newspapers are saying, man, we need to fire this guy, my ego tells me I don't care what they think, because I know in the end my team is going to end up winning because I'm coaching them. That is my ego. I guarantee you that was Knight's ego. That, to me, is not Gruden's ego.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. And I know, because I was there, we never went into a game. I don't know if I can ever remember going into a basketball game in the 137 I played at IU that I didn't think that we were going to win the game. Now, we didn't win them all, obviously. We won 94, 95 of them, I think, in my 4 years there. But I can't say the same about John Gruden. I think this guy needs to go back to the booth as quick as he can get there.
How about this?
And go start talking about football.
How about this? John Gruden,
stop coaching football.
John Gruden's a good football coach. Bobby Knight was a great coach.
You think he is?
Hold on. Yeah, he's got to be a good football coach. He won a Super Bowl, took team. I mean, he built that Raiders team.
He inherited a football team.
He built the Raiders. The Raiders were a mess when he got there. And he got them all the way to the championship game, couldn't get them over the top. Yes, he took Dungy's guys and won it, But you could also say this. Bill Callahan inherited that Raiders team that had just lost in a championship game, took on John Gruden, who had a new team, and Gruden kicked his ass. Now, my thing about that is this. The difference between good and great as a coach or good and great as a team is like this. The Rams and Patriots last year played in the Super Bowl. And I bet you the Rams really believed they were going to win. The problem is this. The Patriots are led by a great coach and a great quarterback who knew they were going to win. You know, I can believe that I'm 8 feet tall, but I'm not. You know, I can believe anything. So everybody always, we believe. You got to believe. Belief is bullshit. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is what you know you can do and what you know you can accomplish. I mean, if you're a Christian and you believe in God, that's great. But do you know? The difference between know and belief is huge. So if I'm going into this game and I'm playing you, I'll give you a perfect example. The high school team I coached a couple years ago, we played the Maryland School for the Deaf. All right, they had won like 68 out of their last 69 games. They were supposed to come beat us, and they did. They beat us by a touchdown right at the end of the game. The difference in that game was the fact that coming into the game, they knew they were going to win. We believed we were going to win. And when you believe and the other one knows, at the end of the game, the one who knows is the one who's going to win.
Okay, so in the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks, do you get a belief that the Raiders believe that they're going to win?
No,
I didn't get that out of
you
the
know
first
what
episode.
I got from what
I didn't
Gruden
get that at
said?
all.
From what Gruden said, especially like with the Antonio Brown, well, I hope he's here. This is the thing. I think that they are in a position where they hope they are good. So you got know here, belief here, hope here, and then the Cleveland Browns of the last 40 years below hope.
Yeah.
And right
I
now,
know
the Cleveland Browns are a team that believe they're going to win. Now, they could beat the Patriots if they get to the point where they know they're going to win. But that's a hard thing to do. And I think it's the difference of why Bill Belichick every year is at least in the championship game. Because he doesn't just believe it. He knows it's going to happen. And everybody plays against teams that know they can win. You know, it's like when you guys played in 1979 against Michigan State, you either hoped or you believed you were going to win. They knew they were going to crush you. And then they crushed you.
Yeah. No,
because
exactly
that's what
right.
great teams do.
Yeah. So at this point in time, how much of this plays into the account of like Cleveland's got nothing to lose. I mean, they've been in the tank for God knows how many years. Oakland's been in the tank, but they're moving, so they're out of Alameda County after this season. They're going to Vegas. Does anybody really care? Because I mean, I watched the Raiders play the Rams, and there was nobody in the stands.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
a
every
big rivalry
preseason
matchup.
game. That's every preseason game. There's
Now,
no rivalry
but it was the worst I'd
preseason.
seen of that I can remember.
Yeah, but you don't see them all. I guarantee it was like that 3 years ago in Oakland, too. Because the other thing you got to remember with Oakland, it's not just a move. Other than 1 or 2 years, 3 years ago? That franchise, they haven't sniffed the Super Bowl since they lost to the Buccaneers in Gruden. And that was, 15, 16 years ago. That team has made the playoffs since 2002 once or twice. I mean, so this is a fan base that's beaten down. You throw on top of that, they're moving to Vegas. You throw on top of that, they're playing in maybe the worst stadium in professional sports. There's not a real big selling point there to go watch the Raiders. The only selling point right now is the fact that you got John Gruden and Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
But he will be shortly, the way it sounds, because he's found
and
a
apparently
newer helmet.
Antonio Brown has solved this problem.
Yeah, he found a newer helmet, like 2010.
Found a newer helmet of the one model, a newer model that was made after 2010. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, if the guy wants to wear the helmet, let him wear the damn helmet. Because like you say,
I think
the helmets don't make that big a difference anyway.
This is what I think. I am at the coach perspective where if what you put on your head matters, maybe I don't want you on my team. You know, because I want a guy that'll drag his leg out there that was tore off earlier. Will go out and try to hit you over the head with it and win the game. I don't want somebody to just worry. I mean, it's just, we got a game, go play. I mean, we know this. The helmets in the NFL, no matter what helmets they are the best helmets you can find. So shut up and play. Plus,
well,
you're
it's the
making
same helmet
like
everybody wears.
You're making
my
like
son's got a speeder.
You're making like $1 billion a year. Just shut up and go play.
I agree. All right, now I'm just reading. I'm watching HBO right now. Hard Knocks. HBO in talks with 4 schools about reality series. So now they're going to take Hard Knocks to the college level?
Well, it's already at the college level. Amazon has done it before. They did it with Michigan and Jim Harbaugh last year. They did it the year before with, I think, Jimbo Fisher and Florida State. So, yeah, it sells. That's what people want to see. The only question in the NCAA is this. Any of them Alabama players getting paid out of this, or is it just fat cats at Alabama? That's my problem there, because I love shows like this. But I can also tell you this. I've been in some training camps for real, and this, what they show you, is not what it is.
I know.
It's a reasonable facsimile about what happens. I did love the fights between the Rams and Raiders to the Metallica music. That was good.
I go back to what I said. Is in my day, 60 Minutes came and did a piece on Bob Knight, and it was about a 12-minute piece. You know, they have usually have 4 segments.
And Bobby was probably on his best behavior.
No. I mean, Coach was being coach. I mean, but they filmed for 2 solid weeks in a row. They followed every player for a day. Like, I had a camera following me around for a day, going to class and doing everything. And they had 2 weeks worth of film for a 12-minute segment. They could have made Knight look like an angel, an idiot, an asshole, or whatever they wanted to do. And, you know, the F side is we got to spend a 2-hour session with Dan Rather. I think we've talked about this before. We got to spend that time with him, and he's a very intelligent man. It's amazing what these guys know. But they can do whatever they want to do. So Hard Knocks is really, truly not a true perspective. But
no reality show is. Reality shows are all edited.
Exactly.
They're to make the show better, and that's all it is. That's why Ronald Ollie from East Mississippi was there. Nobody really thought Ronald Ollie was going to dominate and play in the NFL. But he's a damn good story to throw on Hard Knocks. That's all that was. And the thing is
so is Derek Carr. So is Derek Carr.
Yeah, it's like last year. Great story. You had the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. Hugh Jackson's pathetic ass up there. Yeah, I mean,
living in his mobile home.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the mobile home was probably HBO's idea.
Yeah, they probably rented it for him. Yeah. So, Gruden. Okay, I mean, is he good for the Raiders, or is he hurting the Raiders in terms of their development and growth?
For development and growth, I think he hurts them. For making them relevant again, he helps them right now. But the problem is this. The dog and pony show that he does is going to wear off in the next couple of years, especially if they get to Vegas and they're 4-12. Because then Mark Davis, who actually is the ugliest man in the world, will then have to – and you know what the sad thing is this. John Gruden looks like he's good-looking son because they really look a lot alike.
He's got a bad haircut, though. My wife even commented last night. We were watching Hard Knocks.
I mean, his haircut.
Can he do nothing with his hair?
I think he goes to the same barber that Pete Rose goes to. They just throw a little bowl on his head and they cut the hair. Actually, you know what would be awesome? They're remaking all these movies. Why don't they remake Dumb and Dumber with Mark Davis and Pete Rose? I mean, it looks like.
Okay.
What was the movie that? Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, a movie where, you know, it wouldn't be allowed now because Jerry Lewis is acting like he's Chinese and he's got the little bowl cut and the big teeth.
Oh, not the Nutty Professor. It wasn't the Nutty Professor. He did the Nutty Professor, didn't he?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know which one it was. I mean,
all right,
the best
so let's
Jerry
go
Lewis
to this.
Dean Martin movie
since you're
the best Jerry Lewis movie ever was That's My Boy. Jarring Jake Jackson.
I remember the one where he was a boxer. But, hey, we got some news on your Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck likely to sit out the preseason with an ankle injury. So
okay, well, wait.
What is hurt?
Before we get there, I had a couple more questions for you on the coaching thing.
Oh, okay.
Take Belichick, because I think you're smart at this stuff. So I think you give great input, and our listeners want to hear it. Take Belichick out of the picture. Who are the best coaches in the NFL right now? And
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson is at
Philadelphia.
Okay. So is he the only one? I mean, are there no other really good coaches in the NFL? Is it just Belichick and Doug Peterson?
Andy Reid's a good coach. I just don't like the
but
way
you
he goes about his business.
You
but he's never won anything, and I don't think he ever will unless he just goes so much talent that he can't lose, which may happen because they're getting close to that. But I don't know. I'd have to go through each division.
Take a second and do it. I mean, who are the good coaches? I mean, because Gruden's not one of them. I don't really. What about McVay? I mean,
no, I don't.
Is he just living life large in L.A.?
Dude, he's with a scheme that won't last. I think Pete Carroll, you have to give him something. But Sean Payton, I think Sean Payton's a damn good football coach. Reed's all right. I think Peterson's better than all of them. I think McVay is overrated. I think John Harbaugh is a great coach stuck in a bad situation with Lamar Jackson. But whoever signs John Harbaugh...
That's in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, as soon as John Harbaugh gets fired, whoever gets him is going to be in really good shape. I actually like Anthony Lynn from the Chargers. Not a Tomlin fan. I think Zimmer's a good coach. Dan Quinn sealed his fate in that Super Bowl. Frank Reich, I think the jury's still out on. Ron Rivera, I think, is overrated. Matt Nagy, I think Matt Nagy's a really good football coach. I think the Bears are going to drop off this year, but they'll be back. I think Bruce Arians is a solid coach. I just don't know if he's in position to win. Jason Garrett, I'm not a big fan. Doug Marrone, he'll be fired shortly. Bill O'Brien with the Texans, I think he'll be fired shortly, but I think he's a solid football coach. It seems like every year he's missing his starting quarterback, and he's still making a run to the playoffs. I think Mike Vrabel, this could be a huge year for the Titans, because if you've got no Indianapolis Colts in the way with Andrew Luck, the Titans could win this division. I mean, I think Vrabel's a solid coach. Sean McDermott, I think, is a tough, hard-nosed coach. I don't know if he's a great coach, but his teams always play hard. Jay Gruden, he sucks because he's a Gruden, and all Grudens suck. Kyle Shanahan, I think the jury's still out on because there's not enough to see. Same thing with Matt Patricia, jury's still out. Adam Gase, we'll see. Pat Shurmur with the Giants, I think he's not long for this world. Not this world, but coaching in the NFL. I don't want to be a hard ass. Vic Fangio with Denver, he's new, so we'll see. Brian Flores, new, we'll see. Cliff Kingsbury wants to let his players use cell phones, so he's going to be a failure. Freddie Kitchens, we'll see. Matt LaFleur, we'll see. He's new. Zach Taylor, we'll see. He's new. So that's my take on every coach.
What is the key to being again, you coach
I already told you. The key to being a great coach is that your players.
But is it a great quarterback? Is it having a great quarterback? Is that what it takes?
Bill Belichick took the Cleveland Browns, and people forget this, to the playoffs with Vinny Testaverde, or as people in Miami,
Vinny Testaverde was a pretty good quarterback.
Vinny intercepted Verdi. He was not very good. He got. This is the thing. Okay. Vinny intercepted Verdi. Basically made the playoffs when Bill Belichick was his coach and when Bill Parcells was his coach. All the other years were not that great for him. So I think this. I think the biggest thing to being a head coach is a couple things. Number one, your players know you care about them, so they care back. They play hard for you. The other big thing is this. A lot of guys can sit down and draw up an offensive game plan or a defensive game plan. The difference is, when the other team adjusts to what you're doing, can you adjust? So if I'm an offensive coordinator and I'm looking at my game plan for the week, I also have a plan B and a plan C. Because what I'm going to do when I draw up the offensive game plan is I'm also going to think about what defense best beats that. And if I see that defense, I have to have plan B ready to combat that defense, if you know what I mean. But hey, real quick, here's
a question for you.
Hold on. No, you got to listen. You can ask a question in a second. We're going to run a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Make sure if you enjoy betting on baseball to go check out BetNow.eu's Grand Slam contest. A weekly winner will receive $5,000 in cash, and there will be 5 consolation prizes given out to the top 5 finishers. Make sure you go to BetNow.eu and use the promo code TRUTH50 to get a 50% cashback bonus on your first deposit.
All right, we're back. Go ahead, Steve. Ask your question.
All right, 2 questions. One, I got ESPN on the TV in my office, so I'm watching, and they've got Kornhauser on, and there's stuff going on. Now they're saying the running backs want a separate union just for the running backs.
You there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, my wife just called to tell me there was an active shooter at the strip club across from the high school down here in Lawrenceburg.
Wow.
I'm not kidding either. We actually, in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, we have a strip club that sits like right behind the elementary school or the middle school, elementary school, and right across from the high school.
I've probably been there. I don't know there's a strip club in Indiana that I haven't been to.
It's called Concepts.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the name.
I've never been to a strip club, but I also, from what I hear.
Is it near Batesville?
Lawrenceburg?
Lawrenceburg's near Batesville, right?
Away.
Yeah, then I've been there.
That's
I used to play in the Batesville.
All right, so what did you say about Tony Kornheiser or whatever?
He's saying now, I'm reading on the bottom, that the running backs now want their own union. In the NFL. They want to create a separate union.
You know what they ought to do?
The
players should create a union that cares about what the players want, because they've never had that from Gene Upshaw to DeMaurice Smith. So it doesn't really matter. But I do want to get to the prevailing news from the Colts, because now Andrew Luck has
wait. I got another question for you. Hang on. I got a couple of questions for you before we get there. We got time.
No, we
We're
don't.
only 30 minutes into this thing. We'll be done in 20 minutes.
Got to do a CFL show tonight. Go ahead.
Jay-Z
I
is
don't
now
care about Jay-Z.
Disparaged, but he's disparaged the NFL and stood on Colin Kaepernick's shoulders the whole time, and all of a sudden now he's in partnership with the NFL. What goes on there? Is it money?
What else would it be? They're in a partnership.
What else would it be? Yeah. So he's getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And so he's now going to produce the halftime shows for the NFL. He's going to be coordinating them all and doing them all and decide who gets to play and who doesn't get to play.
My hopes of Metallica doing the halftime show to hell.
Man, just get the Rolling Stones.
No, I don't want the Rolling Stones. I don't like the Rolling Stones. They suck.
You just can't get any satisfaction, can you?
I can get satisfaction. It's just hard to get it from a 90-year-old man that looks like he's been a meth head for the last 40 years.
Are you talking about Keith Richards or
all of them?
All
of them, baby. All of them. All right, let's go. I want to go to Andrew Luck's injury, because on Tuesday
there's a problem there. Houston, we have a problem.
Chris Ballard said that he is currently dealing with an issue to the front of his left ankle, in addition to a calf strain. Plus, they had to amputate his right leg, and his shoulder fell off. But they expect he'll be ready by the opening of the season.
Oh, so, Sports Illustrated earlier in the year picked the Colts to be in the Super Bowl. There's no way.
That's the jinx, dude. They've picked the Bengals twice in the past,
I laughed
too.
when they said that. I said, this is not a Super Bowl team. This is not a team.
If Andrew Luck was healthy, they could be, because in the AFC, there's not much else outside of the Patriots and the Chiefs. So it's always possible. But I think this. I think that if the Colts want people to quit asking questions about Andrew Luck, maybe they should just tell the freaking truth.
And they do a great job of masking that. I've been a Colts fan since 1984 when they came to Indianapolis, and they continually mask these issues. And his Luck, he when he's healthy, he's a very good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a top 10
but
guy.
He doesn't.
When he's healthy, he's top 5, but that hadn't happened in like 3 years.
That hadn't happened, yeah. I agree. And so now, they're talking now, he's probably not going to start game 1. Now the injury, I mean, they keep drilling it down deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper that, he's not going to play. So now you're going with Jacoby. I want to say Brisket, but that's not right.
Come on. You can do it, Steve. I believe in you.
Jacoby Brisket.
Brissett, not Brisket.
Brissett.
Jeez.
I'm having ribs Saturday night because the NASCAR race is running in Briscoe.
What does that have to do with brisket?
I'm having briskets, rib briskets Saturday night.
Okay.
I've already ordered them.
You ordered them? Lazy ass. Can't you just fix them?
Well, you got to get them.
I fixed a brisket one time when we lived in Aurora, and I did it on a charcoal grill, and it took 16 hours, and it tasted amazing. And I'll never, ever do it again because it took 16 freaking hours.
16 hours, I know.
But it was amazing.
So I bought pre-cooked ones. All I got to do is throw them on the grill and heat them up.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about something we never talk about.
All right. Well, so Andrew Luck.
I don't care about Andrew Luck. I just brought it up because it's stupid. It is. It's stupid. I don't care. If he plays.
What's stupid about it?
It's just
stupid that they're hiding it, or what?
It's stupid that they hide it. It's stupid that they just don't come out and tell everybody what's going on because who cares? And I'm tired of hearing about it. That's my big thing. I'm just tired of hearing about it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I hate the Colts. It doesn't matter to me anyways.
Wow. I don't hate the Bengals.
So? That's because you were actually a Bengals fan until you became a little girl and switched teams. And you probably didn't switch teams until Peyton Manning got there.
No. I was actually when they came into the Hoosier Dome. I was working for Dan Quayle, who was a senator, and in Indiana, along with Richard Lugar, and we were all on the floor, on the turf, and when the announcement was made, I was there on the floor. And when Bob Irsay came in, and the trucks from Mayflower were moving in, shipping them into Indianapolis, I was there for all of that.
They left under the cover of darkness like little cowards.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And Indianapolis took them in.
No doubt.
So, screw Indianapolis. This is my problem
with
the
Colts.
And they've been there. This is my problem with the Colts, all right? Now, 1984 to probably about 1997, when you go to the Walmart in Lawrenceburg, everybody had Bengals jerseys on. When I went to college at Indiana State in Terre Haute, everybody cheered for the Bengals, Cardinals, or Bears. No Colts fans. Peyton Manning gets there, and then all of a sudden those people that were wearing Bengals jerseys are now wearing Colts jerseys. So my problem with the Colts is this. Unless you're under the age of, 40, you're not really a Colts fan. You weren't really a Colts fan. You're not a Colts fan now, Steve, because you weren't growing up. In wait a
minute.
Wait a second. In 1975.
Bert Jones, Joe Washington, the gold shoes. Don't tell me I wasn't a Colts fan.
You weren't.
I know about the Colts.
No, you don't. Who was the coach of the team that Bert Jones took to the playoffs 3 straight years?
Yeah.
It was Ted Marchibroda. How about this? Since you're a big Colts fan.
Who came on to coach?
No, wait, shut up. 1976. You're a Colts fan, so you'll know this. What happened right after the Steelers had beaten the Colts 40-14 at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, right just 20 minutes after the Colts lost that playoff game? What event happened that almost killed thousands of people if it had been short, just a little sooner? Exactly.
Man.
A plane crashed into the upper deck of the Memorial Stadium. Luckily, it was 20 minutes after the game, and there was nobody there. When the Colts won the Super Bowl in Baltimore, who was the kicker that kicked the field goal to win the game?
Jim O'Brien?
Yes. What college did he go to?
Syracuse.
Cincinnati. How long was the field goal?
48 yards.
32 yards. Answer me this.
But wait, 48, was that when the goal was on the front of the goal line or the back of the goal line?
It was 32-yard field goal from the 32-yard line because it was still on the thing.
So it was, by the time you take the 7 yards back.
No, you don't take it 7 yards back because it wasn't back there. It was 32 yards, Steve. It was a 32-yard field goal to win the game. Who was the starting quarterback on that team?
For who?
For the Colts.
The Colts. It wasn't Burt Jones?
No. Earl Morrall and Johnny Yu were still the quarterbacks there. And then Johnny Yu, since you're a Colts fan, you'll know this. Johnny Yu was traded after 72. Where did Johnny Yu finish his career?
The Rams, didn't he?
No. The Chargers. And no, Steve,
okay,
that's not the
close.
same thing.
I was close.
No, you weren't close. The Chargers and the Rams are two entirely different teams. So you've just failed the history test on the Baltimore Colts, which proves me right.
They weren't my favorite team. The Bengals were my favorite team in
Thank
the 70s.
you. Thank
Kenny
you.
Anderson.
And then
Kenny Anderson and
then
those
you
guys.
became a woman.
They were. That was my team.
Yeah.
I love
and
the
then
Bengals.
you switched it. So that's basically
when
like
you get a team in your own hometown, you got.
That's like saying, "Hey, I
live
live in this house. I've been married to my wife 30 years, but did you see that hot 25-year-old just move over across the street? I think I'm going to go move in with her now." Same thing.
No, I've been married 35 years, and I've never had that urge.
So then you should know. See? But you did. You had that urge, and you went to the Colts. You went to the dark side.
Oh. All right. So
see,
how
this
long
is the difference with the Bengals. With the Bengals, our owner is just a cheap asshole. Your owner is a drunken pill-popping moron. But go ahead. I don't know how long it's going to be for Andrew Luck, and I don't care. Hopefully long enough so they don't make the playoffs, so I don't have to listen to your obnoxious ass all season.
Very good. What else do you want to get to?
I want to talk about the WNBA because I know we're both huge
Ezekiel
fans.
Elliott. What's on the front with Ezekiel Elliott? Is he going to sign or what?
I don't care. Amari Cooper's missing practices now, too, and nobody knows why. So that's why the Eagles, if Carson Wentz healthy, the Eagles will win that division, and Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. The Phoenix Mercury, that's a WNBA team, Steve, if you didn't know.
I watched the film last night. I saw it.
They've been out with one of their big three virtually all season. Now they'll be without a second star for the next 3 games starting Wednesday following the suspension of Brittany Griner for her part in an altercation Saturday with the Dallas Wings. I can honestly tell you this. I've heard of the Phoenix Mercuries, but I've never heard of the Dallas Wings. So I think this. I think that they should give her a raise and not stop her from playing in games because this is the only way we're ever going to talk about this because nobody cares about the WNBA. Even though they want equal pay is bullcrap in sports. You know, this is like saying, all right, I'm Floyd Mayweather Jr., and I'm fighting Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to make $300 million. So there's Bertha Street, who's going to fight Jacqueline Fetty, and they think they should get $300 million each, too, because they're boxing professionally also. But you're not. You're going to get $300 because nobody knows who you are. So I think Brittany Griner should be applauded for getting in a fight because it brought attention to the sport. And actually, it was funny because it was like one of those old, was it Tom and Jerry commercials or cartoons? Where, you know, she chases that little girl, and the little girl just takes off running, and she's chasing her all over the place. I think they should suspend a little girl for not standing her ground and fighting and making this a better action game anyways.
Yeah, well, this girl's like 6'8". I mean, Jiminy Christmas, you know, I'm 60, so I'm probably a short 6'8" now. I mean, I'm sure gravity starts taking its effect on you. You know, my good golly, Miss Molly. You know, my wife is 5'4".
Yeah, but we all know this. People that are 6'8" can't fight. Except for Tyson Fury.
That's not true.
He's 6'9". Yeah, it is. It's true.
That's not necessarily true.
That's why basketball players can't fight.
That's why Chamberlain never took on Ali.
Well, Chamberlain never took on Ali because he was an NBA player. Muhammad Ali was a heavyweight champion.
But there was the big promotion they were going to fight at one point
in
time.
I know, and it almost happened. And Wilt Chamberlain actually was sparring with real boxers. And actually, we've got a writer that wrote an article about that by the name of Bobby Mack. And there's a lot of people that saw Chamberlain in a gym that gave him a legit chance.
Oh,
but it would.
I would love to have seen that. I would love to have seen it.
He got his ass beat because he's not Muhammad Ali's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah,
you know what? He would have had as much chance of beating Muhammad Ali in a boxing ring as Muhammad Ali would playing Wilt Chamberlain one-on-one and beating him. Which is
I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Technical skills come into play in a huge way. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much physically bigger you are. Maybe if it's a UFC fight, because those guys don't have any talent. They just wrestle and pinch each other.
Yeah, but I mean, WNBA. I watched that fight I saw it on ESPN last night.
I think fights are good for sports.
Are cat fights good for the WNBA? I mean, because most all WNBA.
Hey,
teams
don't go there! Don't go there! Don't go there!
Okay.
You're going there. Aren't you? Don't go there.
No. Most WNBA teams are owned
my
by...
My coon dog's sitting here listening to the show, and when he heard you, he raised his head like, don't go there, Steve.
Yeah. My dogs are in the
Let's just say
pool
that some
swimming.
of those girls don't like boys. How about that?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with cat fights. I mean, cat fights are just two girls fighting each other. I think that's a different scenario.
But you know what? There's also a difference between two ugly girls fighting each other and two hot girls fighting each other. One I want to see. The other one I want to see just because I like fights. But I really would rather see the fight with attractive women fighting.
So how much of a drain is the WNBA on the NBA? Because basically every NBA team... It
doesn't matter. The NBA's got enough freaking money, it doesn't matter. They're just doing it so they don't get sued.
Yeah, well, when you drop $3.5 billion on free agency...
Yeah, I mean, the WNBA is not costing them anything. What's the WNBA season last? Like 3 months and it's over with? And then those girls go to Europe and get paid more money than what they do over here. It's a waste of time.
Actually, I got to meet a couple of the Indiana Fever girls. They're nice people. I mean, and they work hard. They play the game hard. I never said they weren't
nice. I didn't say it, but they don't play the game well. When I want to watch a sport, this is the thing, Steve. I want to watch the best play. And the best men are way ahead of the best women. Way ahead. When they show highlight films from the WNBA, most of the time it's of a layup.
You know, that's a great point, and I do agree with you on that entirely. I've noticed, again, watching ESPN and watching the whole lead up to the brawl, that it's all layups. I mean, you virtually rarely see a good jump shot or anything like that.
Sometimes, if the jump shot's them kicking their heels up when they throw the ball so they can get it far enough, that's a jump shot. And I hate to be mean, and I don't really care because that's just the way I am. I just don't really like to watch the WNBA. To tell you the truth, I'm not a huge fan of the NBA, so.
I'm not either.
I would rather watch men's college basketball. Yeah, the NCAA tournament beats the hell out of the NBA playoffs.
I would agree entirely.
I watched the Johnsonville Cornhole Championships, and it beats the hell out of the WNBA.
I watched it too.
Those guys
we had a chance to be there.
Yeah, and you chickened out.
I had a party to go to on the 4th of July.
Didn't. You're full of crap. You did not have a party to go to. Yeah, you had a party to go to at the Westgate Hotel, live on ESPN. We would have been shown before the championship matchups, which would have got the Grilling Truth name all over ESPN. But no, Steve had other things to do.
I partied with some celebrities.
No, you didn't, Steve. You didn't party with. Your dogs are not celebrities. Just because you put their pictures on Instagram doesn't mean everybody knows who they are.
I rarely put my dogs on Instagram. That's all one thing I ever put on Instagram is my dogs. But I don't do that very often either. I don't know how to do it.
What celebrities did you hang out with, Steve?
I can't mention any names. Signed an NDA.
You're full of crap because nobody makes you sign that from going to a party.
Mm-hmm. Out here, you sign an NDA for everything.
Okay, Steve, you don't have to lie. It's not becoming.
I'm telling you, that's what happens.
It's kind of like
out
the
here in Los
time you
Angeles.
told us that you took surfing lessons. Nobody believed that. I got the messages to prove it.
I'm taking surfing lessons.
But yet you told me you needed a new hip.
That's why I stopped taking surfing lessons.
You just said, right here you just lied. Because you said, I am taking surfing lessons. And then I brought it to hip, and you said, that's why I was taking surfing lessons. I don't believe it.
I'm rehabbing my hip.
My coon dog, Jerry Cooney, doesn't believe it either. He's looking at me with disgust in his eyes. It's either that or because I farted and he's sitting right.
Your coon dog is named Jerry Cooney?
Yeah.
Oh, mine's
I've got a Labrador named John J. Rambo. I got
one named
dog.
Enzo. Enzo Ferrari.
I got a coon dog named Jerry Cooney. And this is the thing. When we got the coon dog, I just named him Cooney because I really like Jerry Cooney, and I never even realized that I named my coon dog Cooney. Everybody thinks it's because he's a coon dog, and it's not. And the cool thing is this. Right before I got the coon dog and named him Jerry Cooney, or right after, I actually got to interview Jerry Cooney. I did not bring up the fact that I named my dog after him because I thought that might freak him out and scare him away.
I don't think that deeply. One last question for you before we sign off. The Dodgers, are they for real this year?
Obviously, they've been in a World Series the last 2 years, but they're not going to win the World Series because the Astros will.
Astros are going to get them?
Yeah, if the Dodgers make it to the World Series. Hey, watch out
They
for the Mets.
bashed out, 30 extra base hits last night or something like that?
Who, the Dodgers? Was that the 15-0 game or 15-1 game, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I saw the highlights. I don't care. It's baseball. It's boring. Sorry, Bobby. It's just home runs and strikeouts, dude. I started the year. I even had the MLB package, and I watched a ton of games the first month. And I'm just like, dude, this is not what I watched when I was little. Because, I'm one of those guys. Everything was much better when I was younger. And it's true because I could walk much better. I could think better. Everything was a lot better in 1980. I'm just telling you, it was for me personally. Now, if you're 20, I just want to tell you 30 years from now, you may be doing a podcast. It won't be with a former Indiana Hoosier that won a national championship because with Archie Miller, all those guys are going to be dead 30 years from now. No offense, Steve. But
no doubt,
you will realize that 30 years ago was a hell of a lot better than what 30 years from now is. As you stand up and your hips don't work and your knees crack real loud, you'll realize someday why Mike always said everything was better 30 years ago. Because it's always better 30 years ago. All right, guys, we're going to wrap the show up. Steve, I want to remind everybody tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll have the CFL Weekly Pick'em Show with myself, Brian Schmidt, and CFL legend Robert Drummond, who also played for the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL and was on the undefeated Syracuse Orangemen team, coached by Dick McPherson in 1988. Make sure you check us out there, and me and Steve will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Hey, I got a question for you. Can I ask a question?
I wish I had $1 for every time you said, hey, I got a question for you, but go ahead.
What do you got coming up? You've got an NFL player coming on board with you to do
that show, well, it's not just that.
Yeah, talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. That is dynamite.
He texted me this morning, and he is Randy Cross, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers. He actually does college football for CBS Sports. Next week, we're looking at having an NFL preview show with me and Randy and a college football preview show with me and Randy. The college show would probably be next week. The NFL preview show will be right before the NFL season starts. But he's also has a podcast called the Randy Cross Podcast, which is coming out. Actually, I think he was doing the first one today, and he's supposed to send it over to me. So you keep an eye out at thegruelingtruth.com. You'll be able to hear the Randy Cross podcast, which hopefully will debut tonight. If not tonight, I'm sure it'll be up probably by tomorrow morning. So make sure you check that out. And also, Matt Andrews-Scavage, of course, this year is doing a San Francisco 49ers show with Dexter Carter, former 49er legend, and he's actually the kick returner on the 49ers 50th anniversary team or 75th anniversary team, whatever year it is there. So, yeah, you can hear the 49ers show with Dexter every week. And, of course, our friend Tony Hunter, Notre Dame legend, played with Buffalo and L.A. in the NFL. We'll be back with Josh Benjamin here in the next week or two to do the Notre Dame Fighting Irish weekly football show. And I know one of the early guests this season is going to be former head coach Jerry Faust, which should be real interesting to hear Jerry and Tony on air together. Of course, Coach Faust was the head coach at Notre Dame from 1982 through 1985, 1981 through 85. I think it was 81 through 85. So make sure you check out all those shows, and we will be announcing a lot more shows. We've got a soccer show now, which is the Bros Talking Soccer, which is three brothers who talk soccer. So that name is pretty apropos.
It's the most spectated sport. Soccer is the most spectated sport in the world.
Do you want me to mute you? It's not.
It is.
It's not. Because nobody cares. If it's not American.
What sport?
Right.
What sport draws more spectators game by game than soccer?
I don't know what the numbers are game by game in soccer, Steve, and neither do you. Saying it. You're saying it because it is British propaganda. European Union propaganda, which the British are no longer a part of the European Union. I do know that. But it's all propaganda. It's all horse crap. All right? All I can tell you is this. If you'd rather watch men run around in knee pads, kick a ball, and then fake fall down when they get touched, opposed over two grown men wrecking each other's brains for eternity, I don't know what to tell you. All right, guys, we're going to wrap the show up.
Hey, I have one more question.
Well, I'm sure you
do. I'm not a part of the Randy Cross show?
No.
I don't get to be
I'm
involved
not a part of the Randy Cross show. It's the Randy Cross podcast.
I thought you were getting involved. You and him were doing a show.
Well, we are going to do an NFL preview show with NFL people, and we're going to do a college football preview show with college football people. You're college basketball.
So I don't have to do that?
No, you don't have to do that. If Randy Cross wants to do a college basketball preview show, though, you can be on that.
There you go.
Everybody has their place, Steve. You know, Anthony Savino never says, hey, can I come on with Brian Ralph to talk college basketball?
Well, Brian does college basketball.
Exactly.
There you go.
Now, if you're a good boy, maybe we'll have Randy on here. And I'm pretty sure you've been on a show with Randy Cross before, if I remember
we
correctly.
did a show with Randy. Yeah, we did a show with Randy on earlier.
And we will have Randy on Survive in Advance sometime in the next week or two. And we may do something with Randy each week during the NFL season where Randy comes on for 15 or 20 minutes to talk too. But he said it's only if you can behave yourself and not interrupt him continuously. So when we get Randy on, the thing to do is this. You can't go, I got a question. Can I ask you a question, Randy? Because I think from now on what we're going to do is we've got a PayPal button on thegruelingtruth.com where people can click and donate to keep the site up and running. From now on, Steve, I want you to have the website up on your computer while we do the show. And every time you're going to ask me a question, you have to give me $1.
I can do that.
And just say, hey, I know, but you're going to go broke. You already owe me $29 from today.
It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up because it's been an hour and I got to pee because I'm 50 years old. Steve just goes and he depends. He's 60.
That's true.
But make sure you check out our presenting sponsor, BetNow.eu, where you use a promo code TRUTH50 to get 50% cash back bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. Remember, promo code TRUTH50. I think my dog's got to pee, too. He's standing on the bed looking at me like, hurry up. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I want to remind everybody, you can hear all of our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, and over 200 other platforms. Basically, any place you can find podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.